Now You See It, Now You Don't, published in December of 2017. This video begins with a man speaking Arabic. No translation or subtitles are included, so we can't tell you what he's talking about as he stands outside what appears to be a normal door with an elaborate gold door frame. Over a minute into the video, he opens the door to what appears to be a normal dining room. Speaking the whole while, he enters the room and shuts the door, giving a tour of the room, which is empty. He tries opening another door on one side of the room, but it's locked tight, so he enters further in what appears to be a living room. There are toys inside, a car with a doll in it, but nothing appears to be out of the ordinary. That is, until he turns to film the other side of the room and pans back to the car. No more doll. He doesn't seem to panic, and it's hard to tell if he even noticed. He continues to wander around the room. Well, nothing more disturbing appears to happen in the duration of the video. The man must have experienced something frightening towards the end. As fear is heard in his voice, his camera drops and he rushes out of there. What was happening in this room? I don't know if I want to know. A security camera records a woman as she sits in a dance studio with her back to the mirror. Suddenly, her reflection turns around and stands at her menacingly. The woman continues on her daily routine and simply walks away, completely unaware of the danger behind her. If this video is real, then I can only imagine what would have happened if she had walked towards it instead. Here's a freaky sighting. Imagine you're playing guitar with your friends when something decides to pay a visit. Published by Navigon in November of 2007, this creepy video shows some dudes practicing in a bedroom. One is playing the guitar, the other is singing, and the third is recording the session. But as it turns out, there's a fourth uninvited guest nearby. As they continue to play, the friend filming the session takes a broader shot of the singer, and towering in the doorway behind him is a seemingly tall man, standing sentry and staring into the room. In the comments of this video, David F.E. writes, "It's a humanoid being about 7 feet tall, not a ghost. Many people have reported them before." Whatever the case, in the moment, the friend filming doesn't spot the humanoid. The three continue their session without any reaction, and the next time the cameraman pans over, the figure is gone. They must have spotted the humanoid later in the playback, a humanoid that was so close he could have touched them. What would you do if you saw this over your friend's shoulder? A YouTube channel called Jaeger Expective is partying at a rental home. They soon suspect is haunted after running some experiments. According to them, these motion-activated lights don't turn on unless someone is in the room, yet the lights come on here when the room is empty.
Isn't that censored?
I think the lights might turn on whenever the door opens though, because when you watch it again, that's pretty much exactly what happens. So they could be wrong about the lights, but next they hear a faint sound from far away. It sounds like one of those really old-fashioned phones that used to have an actual bell on top.
Everybody has their phones, right?
Everyone decides to talk about it again in the morning, and they go to bed, or at least they try. Strange sounds continue throughout the night, stuff that's hard to catch on camera, like a single footstep and nothing else. In the morning, they also have a bad feeling and feel what they describe as a chilly vibe permeating every room. Jaeger does a quick recording of every room in the house and picks up this figure, which I think could just be his reflection in a mirror, or maybe not.
Is he on the stairs? Is he standing there?
Yes.
Where?
That's the reaction of a YouTuber's daughter when asked to identify the man on the stairs. Her mom is very curious and wants to know more about what her daughter thinks she is seeing.
Where's the man? Where?
Man.
Show Mama where's the man.
Man stares, her daughter says in a tiny British accent. It would almost be cute if the paranormal implications weren't so terrifying. After all, she is talking about being watched by a stranger in their own living room. As the video continues, you can tell the girl becomes more afraid to look up from her toys. She obviously does not want to see the man by the stairs anymore. Though I have no idea what he looks like or what he's doing, the girl does not seem to be smiling or showing any other signs of making up a story, so I am inclined to believe this potential ghost sighting could be real. Let me know if you agree or not. If the backstory to this video is real, then none of the friends you are looking at here are still alive. Their families gave police permission to release this video in hopes of solving what happened to them. At some point during their final car ride together, they go through a lonesome old tunnel in the middle of a private country road. They don't think much of it until they come across the same tunnel again, and then a third time. They're driving in a straight line and not a circle. Yet this creepy location keeps greeting them as if they never left. It only gets worse when the engine stops working. If you think this video is fake, then please take a moment and tell me how they were able to make it look like their car breaks down.
Just over here, I don't want to see.
Anyway, not too long after their car stops working, a song skips on the radio and this figure heads straight their way. And when the car works, they go to reverse. You can see the figure immediately appears behind them in return. I think this last part looks like it could be an amateur horror movie, to be honest, but tell me if this part is editing or not, and then we'll know the real truth. YouTuber Donna Aries has a roommate that she cannot see. Let's take a look at this mischievous poltergeist in action.
Just come in, just heard something, so just grabbed my iPad to see if I see anything, and I'm sure I saw the cup move, so I've just grabbed me. There you go, again.
Donna does a good job of reassuring viewers that this is no gimmick.
Under there, that's just a bracket from an old drawer that used to be there. There's nothing in the cupboard, it's just cutlery and stuff. Nothing under there apart from pots and pans. There's no magnets.
Even if the surface was wet, the way it's moving is not how an object would move across a wet surface.
Underneath, there's nothing. It's just an old metal cup. Metal.
And then this happens.
Oh my gosh. The surface isn't wet or anything. It's all dry. So there's no reason for it to be moving. And it's moving again.
The only thing I can think of to debunk this is the nearby stove. If it's an induction stove, then it uses magnetic fields to generate heat. It would follow that a metal cup nearby would be drawn if the field is strong enough, but that's just a theory, and the way the cup moves is too erratic. Do you have any ideas? While out kayaking on Yale Lake, this man soon realizes he isn't alone. Published by Crypto D-Nut in June of 2017, the kayaker captures bubbles surfacing from the bottom of the lake, and not just a couple, like enough where the lake looks like a hot tub with the jets on. The kayaker films the strange bubble patch and remarks that there's no current.
Just bubbles coming from the bottom of the lake. No current.
Then he puts his camera underwater. You can see the bubbles floating up, but you can't see the source. Back out of the water, something enormous erupts in the lake. A huge bubble breaks, right where the YouTuber's friend was kayaking a moment before.
What the f? What the f? What the f just happened?
Leaves and mud have surfaced, and the guys say it stinks. What is this? Is there a lake monster in these waters? Commenter Stephenopoulos likely has the explanation. He writes in the comments that this is concentrated gas that is sometimes produced in anaerobic environments and can suffocate you when released. Others add it was likely a methane pocket burst built up by plant matter decomposing at the bottom of the lake. Opoulos warns if you ever see that, get as far away as possible. Well, not a lake monster. The reality is still very frightening. Naya Rivera was a famous actress who once starred in the hit television show series known as Glee. In July of 2020, she went missing, and the sheriff's office posted this video of her last known whereabouts in hopes of finding her. What seems to be a simple boat outing with her son has only raised more questions than answers from her concerned fans. Comment sections are flooded with people who believe something sinister happened on the day of her disappearance, and I wanted to give an analysis on the points these commenters bring up. For example, no one knows why Naya parks so far away from the boat, or why she is unable to park between the lines at 1 minute and 10 seconds. I think it's odd, but not necessarily a sign that something is definitely wrong. Next, when Naya gets out of the car, some people claim that she walks too far ahead of her child and doesn't look back to make sure he's doing okay. They think she is in too much of a hurry and not in her right mind. I think this is a valid point, but there's no audio, so we don't know if she's talking to him over her shoulder to make sure he's okay. He doesn't seem to have much of a problem keeping up, so I think people are exaggerating here. They get on the boat and Naya has enough experience to untie it from the dock and start it herself. She obviously has done this before and seems to feel comfortable enough at this point to go boating without supervision. It's a calm day as they pull away, and nothing else seems that out of the ordinary. Yet somehow this accomplished actress does not return. Days later, her son was found sleeping on the boat by himself. His life jacket was on, and Naya's life jacket was found on the boat but not on her body. For some reason, she was not wearing hers. Exactly what happened from there is not clear. The young boy describes being in the water at some point and getting pushed onto the boat by his mother. He turned around and saw Naya disappear under the water with his own eyes. It was the last time he ever saw her. Nobody would discover her until days later, when authorities identified her via dental records. Some commenters are saying that she did all of this on purpose, but from what I've read, she loved her child dearly and would never do such a thing. And as far as I'm concerned, this video does not prove she did anything wrong. A couple of friends are driving around late at night, probably just to unwind for the day and have a good time with one another. During the drive, one of the guys in the car says that he thinks he saw some sort of animal, like a buck wandering around in the bushes right next to them. It almost seems like they are about to get out of the vehicle to take a closer look, but as you'll find out why in just a second, it's a good thing they didn't.
I thought I seen a big buck or something. Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's what a...
What the heck? Look how big its arm span is, like arm, upper torso, and then the middle part of its torso just looks so thin along with its legs. Like it's just so built on just like the upper part of its body here. It's just super bizarre.
Wait.
And its skin almost looked gray. One more time here.
You seen a big buck or something? Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that?
Buck,
dude, that's what a... Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's what a...
Besides the obvious creature jumping in the woods that oddly resembles the urban legend a rake, a lot of people in the comments are confused as to where the YouTube channel Paranormal News received this video, because the channel is Russian owned, but as you can tell, the men in the video are very much so American. Regardless of who it was filmed by though, this is one creature you would never want to see. Even if it is fake, it would startle you, especially this late at night. Smallmouth Crush is making a fishing video on the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. He's drifting by when further down the riverbank something strange catches his eye. A head is sticking out of the water, long black hair. Her back is to him. He looks at the head for a long time, unable to mentally process what he's seeing and not sure what to do. He gives the object a poke just to make sure it is what he fears. It has a face and it is exactly what he's afraid of. I think we are all thinking it's the same thing, especially from this distance, but when he pokes at it some more, an artificial neck joint pops free from the mud. This is a mannequin head, not a real one.
Dude, what is happening? Look at this thing. This is nasty.
Not finding a body is a relief, I suppose, but it also begs the question as to why anyone would take a blindfolded mannequin head out into the woods in the first place. I've heard of people simulating their demented desires onto mannequins before moving on to the real thing as part of their transformation into a full-blown psycho. There's a lot of creepy people out there, I guess. And to further prove my point, he looks up to find something even more sickening nearby.
Look at that freaky thing. I'm out of here.
It looks like somebody has been using this spot to do some pretty twisted fantasizing, and as he speeds away, I can't help but wonder, what if that's not a doll? Thank you so much for getting me to 30,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers next. Thank you.